Okay, so this is a lady called Anne. After interviewing her, she shared quite a lot of intimate details about her life, and she didn't really want this to be publicly posted on YouTube. So we're respecting that, obviously. We always ask for consent when we share the videos. And so, but what we can do, and what she did let me agree to, was to transcribe this. Because, quite frankly, it's going to be very hard for anybody to actually know who this person might be. So, what was she switching from and to? In this case, she'd previously been posting, like some of the people we've talked to before. She was launching a business. She was trying to get herself out there. Not really massive social media user. LinkedIn, obviously, professional network. So let me get out there and put myself out there. And she was writing posts and creating visuals using Canva. And she switched to PJ Milani's course. She subsequently switched to Yanis's course as well, but that was actually a gift. So in this case, I'm not going to transcribe that one or look at it, because if you've been given something, you don't necessarily struggle the same way that others may struggle. And you know, she paid for the PJ Milani course herself, so let's look at that. If we look down here, so again, this business here is helping others create their own logos and visual identities. Another person here wants to take in something complex, so what is somebody else's business about? And then I need to be able to synthesize and simplify that for their messaging. And she was doing this as a necessary evil. But as she started to push this more, obviously she started to see other content creators out there. PJ Milani was the first one that she spotted. She drops down her posting schedule. I don't know whether that has anything to do with this. It could just be burnout, it could just be lack of time. But basically she sees PJ Milani's course, she like his visuals, and she likes these. And it's this comparison to her own stuff. So if I use Canva's free approach, I can go and get some generic items from their library of imagery and assemble that into my own post. But if I compare that to PJ's type output, or Yanis or Roberto's, they have a distinct visual identity that if I see the post, I don't have to read or see who it's from. I can immediately say, okay, I know who's offering that. And this creates this kind of gap in her brain of thinking, well, what if I could do that rather than just pushing this generic stuff? As well as that, it's like, well, this is really good. I'd like to be able to do it. So she's got the skills to do this. She's a very artistic person, seems to want to create things with her hands. And so therefore she copied the post style of PJ Milani. So it's kind of using his approach of metaphors, but in her own piece, and she tagged him in it. And this blew up, you know, so part of it she attributes to the fact that it was tagged to PJ. But actually, you know, he did write back, and he gave her positive feedback on it. He told her that he had a course available, which then triggers maybe I can learn some more about this. But also, you know, she starts to think, well, you know, look at the outcome I've gotten from this. I should be doing that for every single one of my posts. And now that there's somebody who has a process and an ability to do this, then I can sort of push that out as well. And we've seen this play out a few times. It's if I see somebody who's consistently creating high quality, high volume output, and they're showing up every day in my feed, and then I think, well, they must have some secret that I don't. They must have a process that I want to learn. And that's what she wants to get from this. And turns out that just so happened this was in the summer, so PJ runs his course in real time, and therefore it's available in the summertime because he's a teacher by trade. And so it's a decent time. And he was also kind enough to say, well, actually, hold up, don't buy it now, wait, because there's a coupon coming out. And that's kind of really given her lots of trust and confidence in him. She loves the teaser video, so I know this is going to be high quality. I know that there's going to be some structure behind this. And he seems to have this style. He's not just teaching me what to do. He's actually interested in the outcome. I'm interested in seeing what you do with what you learn, and you know, keeping tabs on you and giving you the confidence that this is a skill you can develop and use. So all about the system to learn this. It's so that I can keep this and do this myself. And so this is a little bit here. It ended up being $337.50. You know, I don't think this is. It's not a small amount of money. It's not a lot of money, but she managed to convince herself to do this. It's a fun moment. I can bring some craft into my work. I can give myself a confidence boost, and it's kind of indulgent, and it's an investment in myself. So what are the pushes that I've pulled out of this one? So I see content from other creators. It's more consistent. It's got a unique visual identity. I've tried posting an image in the style of a creator I admire, and I got more traction. So I post this up, I see this, and it pushes me forward. It makes me think, ooh, there's an opportunity here. I'm putting myself out there, so this is something I need to do for my work. My existing content lacks a strong visual identity, so I'm kind of limited by the canvas, the tools, the shapes, or whatever that they give me. And I'm the sort of person, she loves her language, she likes to communicate ideas more easily in any case. And so, this is kind of a constant push in the background to get better and better at communication. What do we want? Well, it's structure. I need something structured, and I need to know everything to consistently do this. I don't want it to be a one-off. I want to make sure I can do it more frequently. I need to learn the process. I need the confidence to do this on my own. That came up a few times there. I do still, though, want to indulge myself. This is fun. It's not just it's not just creating something for the sake of creating it. I do enjoy the process. I can get my own visual identity. I know the recipe, so then I can go and mix and match these things, and I can come up with more of them more easily. I've got someone who's interested in me, and he has the right skills, and then again, more clarity. So some of these are kind of repetitive, as a bit usual. There's different ways that somebody says the same thing. Will probably end up in the same group of statements eventually. And also, I don't want to spend time looking at a blank page. This is the point. If I'm a creator trying to punt out 3 to 5 pieces of content a week, and I know I want to do this with this kind of style, even if I'm a fountain of ideas, I'm worried that at some point they'll dry up, and then I'll be looking at a blank page, and I don't want that. So they're the pieces here. There weren't a lot of anxieties in this one. I've added this because I suspect later on in the year, or at a different time of year when it wasn't offered in her time zone, it may not have been appropriate. She hadn't joined a cohort course before, so it was something new to her. I didn't really think it was a major anxiety, but it's kind of like, it's different, it's new, it's not what you're expecting, so therefore it can get in the way. And she could have kept on doing what she was doing. So as I said, I'm only going to map the one story here because the other one was a gift. There are some points here about what she was getting that aren't dissimilar to other stories we had, so I want to get another process, I want to get another perspective. I've learnt this, I'm using this, I'm getting confidence, let me add more strings to this bow. But because she didn't buy it herself, I don't want to capture those because they may bias something. She ended up with the highest tier offering that Yanis has, but where that's a gift, she may not have paid for that had it been her own money. We never know because that didn't happen. It was gifted to her, so therefore this is what we're stuck with. Hopefully that helps. No video this time to go with it, but fingers crossed that this analysis is useful, and then when we seed it in with the other stories, we'll be able to see the trade-offs that were made to join this course and how they mirror other people's struggling moment too. Cheers.